3 in the morning. A tiny puppy found on the streets. One injured eye. Her body shutting down. The vets were preparing for the worst, until Nora gave them one tiny reason to keep fighting. It was the middle of the night when a tiny puppy was rushed in after being found alone on the streets by an animal ambulance team. One of her little eyes had been badly injured, and her fragile body was fighting far too many battles at once. She was dangerously weak, severely dehydrated, low on blood sugar, cold to the touch, and showing signs that made the rescue team fear infection had already begun to spread. For puppies this fragile, hypothermia and low blood sugar can become life-threatening fast, which is why warmth, fluids, and immediate veterinary care are so critical in those first few hours. No one knew much about this tiny baby yet. No name, no story, just a little fighter trying her best to make it through the night. By 3 o'clock that morning, the nursery was wide awake. With so much happening, the boys somehow decided it must be playtime. Russell wanted out of his little bubble, while Phelps climbed off his bed, quietly keeping watch like the tiny manager of the room. And in the middle of all that late-night chaos, the little street puppy finally got a name. They called her Nora, but sweet Nora was struggling far more than anyone had hoped. Her tiny body was septic, and she could not keep her blood sugar steady on her own. She was also passing black, tar-like diarrhea, something veterinarians take seriously, because it can be a sign the body is under severe stress. Still, there was one thing giving everyone hope. Nora was not showing signs of giving up. Even as her little body fought so hard, her sleepy dream eyes gently moving back and forth seemed to say she felt safe, warm and cared for. Since she was still too unstable for stronger pain medicine, the team used numbing eye drops to help ease the discomfort until she became stronger. For the first time, there were tiny signs of hope. Nora had started lifting her little head, and was even trying to suckle on her own. Despite being incredibly weak, it felt like she might finally be moving in the right direction. But her fight was far from over. Nora was still battling sepsis, and late that night, something new worried the team. She woke up making unusual cries they had not heard before. Her eyes also seemed more swollen, and with the large soft spot on her head. The vet became highly suspicious of hydrocephalus, where fluid builds up around the brain. The team decided to give the new medications a little more time to work, even knowing a very difficult decision might be waiting later that day. By the next morning, everyone was still fighting for Nora. She had spent the entire night at the hospital receiving blood transfusions, medications to reduce the swelling around her brain, and round-the-clock supportive care. For one small moment, there was a little spark of hope. After receiving blood, Nora gently suckled a bit of Nutrical from a fingertip for the very first time. It was tiny, but it felt huge. Still, her fragile body was facing an uphill battle. The swelling continued, and despite seizure medications, Nora began having neurological episodes that deeply worried the medical team. Through it all, she remained comfortably sedated and carefully monitored, surrounded by warmth and people who refused to stop trying. But as the hours passed, one heartbreaking question quietly hung in the air. Would Nora's little body find the strength to keep fighting? No matter what happens next, little Nora reminded us how strong tiny fighters can be. If Nora's story touched your heart, and you would like to help us keep rescuing fragile puppies like her, please tap the thanks button, subscribe, or become a channel member. Your support truly gives babies like Nora a fighting chance.